Imagine a single study so revolutionary, it made every gym goer rethink their entire workout routine. That is the case with
stretch-mediated hypertrophy.
Stretch-mediated hypertrophy.
Stretch-mediated hypertrophy.
With stretch-mediated hypertrophy. This style of training has been all over social media, dividing opinions, sparking huge debates, and making people say, ditch your regular workouts and focus solely on the deep stretch if you want steroid-like gains. So what is it exactly? Why is it so important? And should you be doing them? Well, to answer all of those questions, we must first know the story of the chicken. October 1973 marked a huge turning point when a groundbreaking study revealed that stretching muscles under load could promote growth. Little did people know that study would be the spark to a massive flame. These researchers attached 100 to 200 gram weights to a chicken's wings, which caused a heavy stretch to its lats and teres minor muscles. To their amazement, those muscles began to grow. It was as if stretching them alone was enough to stimulate growth. However, after getting a closer look, they realized there was a huge flaw. One of the smaller muscles in the lats wasn't as stretched as the rest, resulting in that part not to grow as much. But this accident actually further proved their theory. Why would the part not being stretched grow less than the parts being stretched? It was all starting to make sense, like placing the last pieces of a puzzle. They also found it crazy how not only did the pre-existing muscle fibers grow, they found the chicken created more fibers to support even more growth. But here's the big issue. Humans are not chickens. Even though 60% of our DNA is the same, we are still very different. So just because it works for the chicken, doesn't mean it'll work for us. Or does it? Let's fast forward a few decades. The thing is with the chicken, its wings were under constant stretching for weeks on end. Doing that to a human isn't very practical. But what if we increase the load and shorten the time in the form of long lengthened partials? And what if I told you that out of the 5 studies out, 4 of them concluded that long lengthened partials actually cause 5 to 8% more growth than a full range of motion? This immediately sparked huge controversy among big influencers, as what they've always been preaching was under attack. On one side, people were saying that the science doesn't lie, that long lengthened partials were just superior, while the other side would rather stay with their roots, saying full range of motion has had more studies, is backed up more, and is overall just better. Now both sides hold good arguments, but we need to look deeper. Why does the stretching part actually cause more muscle growth? Well, think of it like this. When a rubber band is stretched, the tension it produces leads to small tears or damage into the material, which could potentially cause the whole band to snap. Similarly, when you stretch a muscle during exercise, the tension it generates can cause microscopic tears and damage in the muscle fibers. And like the rubber band, these damages can lead to something even bigger. However, it's important to recognize that these tears are simply a result of the tension placed on the rubber band or muscle. They are not the direct cause of muscle growth. Instead, it's the tension itself, the stretching force, that signals to your body to adapt and strengthen that muscle. In other words, the feeling that something bad could happen to the muscle is what causes them to grow. And your body feels that the most when it's stretched. So case closed, only do long lengthened partials, right? Not exactly. There are 2 sides to every story. While long length and partials sound all good, they're missing out on key things. The body benefits greatly off a full range of motion. For example, when you do a standard curl, there are 3 phases. There's the bottom of the curl, there's the middle of the curl, and then there's the top of the curl. The problem is different fibers are active at different positions. Knowing this, you can begin to guess why there's such big controversy. People argue that when you focus solely on the bottom of the curl, you're missing out the strength gains for the top of the curl, which could lead to major muscle imbalances. Not only that, what about trackability? When does the set stop? One rep can end here, another rep could end there, and the last rep ends here? It's tough to make sure you're always doing the partials the exact same way, unlike full movements which have clear start and end points. But what if I told you that neither of them are better, and that there's actually another technique that is far superior? Instead of having to give up full ROM for more gains, why not just combine them in the form of stretched focused full reps? Here's what I mean. Find a way to make the weight heaviest in the stretched position. Now perform a full rep, not focusing on the squeeze, but rather the stretch. Doing this gives you the ability to accurately track reps and activate all the fibers with at least some resistance, while still giving the stretched position the most tension, giving you the best of both worlds. But let's back up. Isn't it crazy how all this talk came from a chicken with weights attached to its wings? It really makes you think, how can something so small spark something so big? Or more importantly, what small spark in you can be the start to a massive flame? This has been a Police production. Thank you.